Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars Happy Hour is presented by Jet Home Loans. And now, a guy who fully appreciates the importance of a wet ball drill, J.P. Shadrick.
It was proven yesterday. Welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. My name's J.P. Shadrick. We have a busy show ahead, of course. It's Monday, so that means Tony Boselli and Pete Prisco are on the show. Both are out of the studio today. That should be interesting. The Eagles over the Jaguars 29-21 in week number 4. The Eagles now 4-0. Jaguars 2-2. We've got Fanatics fan questions in the second hour. We'll go around the NFL also. But let's hear from head coach Doug Peterson. He spoke this afternoon after reviewing the tape. The Jaguars had an early 14-0 lead, but then missed opportunities. 5 turnovers on offense, 4 of those fumbles from the quarterback. They had issues against the run, to say the least. Against the Eagles, they went for 210 on the ground against the Jags, and plenty of teachable moments.
Obviously, it is what it is. We lost the football game. But when you look at it, there's plays to be made, and our guys will learn to make them, as we go in time. They'll learn to do that. And it's they're teachable moments, but at the same time, you start running out of time, right? Your season is moving along, is moving fast, and we're into week 5, and we keep saying there's a lot of ball ahead of us and all that. But if we don't fix it, you're going to look up and you're going to say, I wish I could, or that shoulda, woulda, coulda deal. But yeah, it's very, very teachable moments for us as an offense, for a team, even defensively, to make the plays that come to you. Don't go chasing plays, when they come, make them, and, we'll be better off for it.
That's the head coach today. Tony Boselli and Pete Prisco join us from elsewhere on this Monday. And good afternoon, Pete. Let's start with you today. What's up?
Yeah, that's ball security. Take care of the damn football. I don't care how wet it is. You have to take care of the football. That was not a good performance at all for Trevor Lawrence. And it seemed to me, and you guys would know better than me because you talked to the group there, but it looked like the wet ball really bothered him and really impacted the way he played. By the way, when the first fumble, when he dropped it on that, it wasn't a turnover, but he recovered it. But he had a guy wide open that would have continued that drive, and he was getting ready to throw it to him, and it fell out of his hand.
Yeah, it was officially a turnover, though. It was recovered by the Eagles. It was fourth down
right.
anyway. But
that's right. It was fourth
yes.
down. That's right. It's fourth down, but
yeah.
It didn't matter if he recovered it or not. But
either way,
it's still, he had a guy open. Tim Jones, I think, was open right in front of him, and he would have hit him for a first down. So little things, the center exchange. That, by the way, I'm going to go back to that play. The play before, Travis Etienne got the first down. Why didn't they challenge that?
I think he got it. It was first glance in here in the studio. We were sitting here watching it. Me and Mike Dempsey were here, and that was the first thing we said. Well, take a challenge on this. It looked like he fell over the line.
It wasn't even close. He was about a yard over. I mean, at least a half yard over.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a bad decision by Doug Peterson. He should have challenged that. I didn't like that call. I didn't like up 14-7, the 3rd and 10 draw. I didn't like that one bit. I get it. It's raining, but you had hit some passes already in the rain. So clearly you could have hit some more. But yeah, I mean, it's ball security, JP. If you don't take care of the football, you're not going to win games.
Yeah, and they had obviously taken the ball away a bunch this year and had the benefits of that. Let's try Tony Boselli. Are you with us, Tony? Good afternoon.
I'm with you. Can you hear me?
We've got you clearly, audio-wise at least. Hey, we don't have to look at you. We got the best of both worlds.
Oh, that's a win-win.
Whatever. I turned the camera on. It's not working, though. We'll try to redial it during the break. But, yeah, I mean, I agree with most of what Pete said. I mean, I don't think unless you were there you could appreciate how bad that weather was. And the wind was gusting. And I think the wind is as much of an issue, especially for a young quarterback to deal with than anything. But it was a team. If you look at what the formula for their victory in the 2 games coming into that game, it was dominating the lines of scrimmage. Good, I'm not saying great, but good quarterback play and no turnovers. And they were -4 on the day. And they were fortunate they weren't -5 because of the James Robinson fumble that bounced right to Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
And so they came into the season +7, and now they're going to be +3. And so the formula that they had used to win football games, they did everything opposite of that. Now, the good news is you played really poorly against a very good team on the road. And you still had the chance with the ball in your hand, a minute 54 to go down and tie it up. And so there's, yes, it's not where you want it to be. Yes, it's a game where you're gonna look back and be frustrated that you think you should have won or very easily could have won if it wasn't you didn't have the self-inflicted mistake, pain and mistakes. But you can't turn it over. And Trevor didn't play well, and there was other guys that didn't play well. It's not all on Trevor. I thought the defense was very poor in their gap integrity. They were chasing ghosts. They were not stout. Now, that's a very good Eagles offensive line, but they played most of the game without their starting left tackle, and still were very effective. And there was no real pass rush, and I think that's something that, again, this team's not a great pass rushing team. One-on-one, they're just not. And that's something that they're.
I thought Aluakon was really bad on Sunday. And he made.
Well,
I think he got credited for about 16 tackles.
He had
or something
16. Devin Lloyd had 12. Roy Robertson Harris had 9. That's 39 total tackles between those three.
I mean, but Aluakon had 16 tackles and didn't play well.
Yeah, down the field. I mean, you gave up 200 plus rushing yards, and so you had a hard time getting off the field. You got pushed around a little bit, and I didn't think either Aluakon or Devin Lloyd played great as far as. I didn't either. As far as gap integrity and really being where you needed to be. So, this is going to be a tape that was no fun to watch today for a lot of guys. But again, I go back to the beginning of the year. If you'd have said this team's going to be 2-1, should be 3-0, they just make the basic plays, go into the only undefeated team left in the NFL, play as poorly as they did, but still have a chance with the ball in your hand at the end of the game to go put a drive together and win it or tie it. Like, okay, it's not good. And I'm not trying to, color this and look at this in rose-colored glasses, but let's also be realistic that this is a team that is still in the building process and learning. And I think, yesterday was a little bit of humility, a little humble pie.
Yeah, but Tony, and please admit this to me because I know it was going through your mind when it was 14-0. I know you were thinking they might be the best team in the league right now.
No, I wasn't actually, Pete. I wasn't thinking they're the best team in the league. I was thinking the lock is on fire this year. The lock is alive.
I mean, here's the other thing I want to put out there because I know I've seen some of this on Twitter today about Trevor Lawrence. You would feel 5,000 times more worse about him if he threw 4 bad interceptions than you do about him losing 4 fumbles. Agreed?
I agree
yes,
with that. Yeah, I agree.
100%.
Sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, because the center exchange, that was on, he pulled out early, it looked like, just from what I was looking at. The one he dropped the football.
Pete, the ball went right through his hand.
Yeah. The one he dropped the football on, that was just not mishandling a wet football. The 2 other ones, Juwan Taylor, who had been stout in pass protection, that's on him.
I would say the last one, I think Trevor might have held it a tick long. I think you got to get rid of that. I mean, he was,
There was nobody open. I watched the tape today. There was nobody open on that play.
I thought the in cut, the second level in cut was there.
I don't know, Tony. It didn't look like it on the very last one you're talking about. No, I didn't think so, but I'll look at it again. But again, I thought, again, if he throws 4 interceptions to somebody's stomach in the middle of the field 4 times, you feel 10 times worse than him fumbling the football. That doesn't excuse him from ball security. It's the first time, since 1979, a guy lost 4 fumbles in a game?
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible when you think about it.
It really is.
But Pete, I guess the biggest thing to me was, they're up 14-0. And Trevor overthrows the double move. That's a touchdown. And at 21-0, that's a different game. Like at 21-0, it's like the Eagles are going, what's going on? And then, okay, great, you overthrew a guy. It's windy. That can happen. I mean, it's not the easiest, conditions to throw the ball in. But then you drop the ball when you either can run for a first down or throw it to Tim Jones. And you're moving. I mean, you're moving, and you're going to at least come away with a field goal. And at 17-0, it's a 3-possession game. I mean, I know there's plenty of time left, but it still, I think, just sends a different.
I agree. If he hits that shot down the field, they win that game.
I agree.
But again, I'm going to go back to 14-7. I didn't like that play call on 3rd and 10 at all. That was a message to me. That was a message sending play call that you're trying to hang on for dear life.
It was 1st and 10 from their own 25 after the Eagles had scored their first touchdown. 14-7 Jaguars at this point. So Lawrence incomplete to Christian Kirk, short left. Lawrence incomplete to Tim Jones, short left, and then ETN over right tackle for no gain.
I didn't like that entire sequence. I mean, it was almost two wide receiver screens.
Yes, to the left side.
To the side that went nowhere, and then a draw. Listen, I think Doug Peterson's like a fabulous play caller. I did not like that sequence of plays.
I was like, a very good play caller too. I think head coach Doug Peterson got inside play caller Doug Peterson's head on that series. That's what I think. I think he was looking at it 14-7. The weather isn't good. Let's not turn it over. We'll play good. We'll punt the ball here instead of particularly on the 3rd down call. And that's how you play and not to lose instead of to win. So Doug Peterson, play caller, needed Doug Peterson, head coach, to stay the hell out of his headset. That's what he needed.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, in fairness to them, that it was a slip draw, and they've had a ton of success this year on that play. A ton. Now, I would have never run that play at Brandon Graham, because Brandon Graham is not a speed rusher at 13 years, repaired Achilles. I mean, he's more of a power guy. Right. I'm running that play to Josh Sweat, who's up the field. I mean, Brandon Graham didn't even get up the field at all. They're sitting right there to make the play. Here's the reality. If you go look at that play again, Pete, imagine Brandon Graham going up the field, because that's what you're counting on. It is an easy first down. That's a 20-yard run. There's nobody there. Nobody. And so that's where I don't kill Doug as much, because they've had a ton of success in that, what I call slip draw or whatever. We call the 41 gut, where you're throwing the D lineman up the field and going up to the next level. But where I didn't like the call is you have to know your personnel you're going against. And Brandon Graham is a power rusher. He's not a speed up field guy. And I think it's harder to run that against a guy like Brandon Graham.
One quick thing. I know you got to go to break, JP, but Tony, didn't you think he needed a challenge that ATN got the first down on the 4th, then they fumbled on 4th and 1. Why did he challenge that?
I don't know, Pete. I looked at it on the all 22 and I slow-moed it. I mean, maybe his knee goes down earlier than it looks. I'm saying maybe, but end of half or near the end of half, I'm replaying that for sure.
Yeah, that was a mistake on his part. So, look, he's a good coach and a good play caller. He made 2 mistakes. I don't think they cost him the game, but they were 2 mistakes.
No, they were still in it in the second half, certainly. Plenty ahead. We're just getting started on Jaguars Happy Hour on this Monday afternoon. We'll hear from the quarterback coming up, Trevor Lawrence. Devin Lloyd spoke today with the media here in Jacksonville. Jamal Agnew as well had a pretty good day at the office on offense, though in a losing effort for the Jaguars, 29-21. We're live on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars social media today, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jags, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
The Land Rover Defender story began with the simple thought of creating an exceptionally capable off-road vehicle, becoming the go-anywhere, do-anything all-terrain machine. Today, there's a new Land Rover Defender, the toughest and most advanced Land Rover vehicle ever. From the beginning, Land Rover knew the new Defender was capable of great things. Motor Trend's 2021 SUV of the Year is just the latest example. Test drive the new Land Rover Defender today at Land Rover Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard, or go to LandRoverJacksonville.com. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has been a leader in direct mail for over a decade. Using the latest technology, Kessler can now reach your ideal audience even more effectively. Choose from between a couple of response channels, from direct mail to landing pages designed to engage and initiate responses with potential customers. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yingling Traditional Lager. The beer for drinkers who know how to tap into their inner eagle and spread their wings. So prepare yourself for takeoff and let your night take flight. Liftoff. When your lips meet that cold, crisp amber lager, there's no looking back. So fly over the radar. Tonight's about the lager, and this lager is all about soaring higher. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. DJ Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bono's is currently expanding its brand with franchise opportunities throughout the Southeast and beyond. Over 70 years of authentic Southern pit barbecue and owning your own business are a great combo. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Tired of hearing "fine" to every question you ask your child? Conversations with a child or teen in your life may sometimes feel one-sided, but they help build the foundation for lifelong mental wellness. Getting started can be difficult, but you don't have to do it alone. Wolfson Children's On Our Sleeves program provides just what you need to spark conversations that have lasting benefits. For free tools and expert advice delivered to your inbox each month, visit wolfsonchildrens.com/onoursleeves.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Obviously, I got to play better. I mean, our defense gave us a chance to win at the end of the game, and I'm just pissed I let those guys down, and really just too many turnovers. Obviously, it starts with me. All of them were me today, so that's no one else to blame there. So let those guys down. It's disappointing. I felt like we had a chance to win that game, and we did, and same thing at the end there. So that's really frustrating.
That's the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, and welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, and for 9 years, Dreamfinders Homes has been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all the available inventory, and go Jags. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Jet Home Loans on 1010XL, Jaguars.com, Jags social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And we've got everybody on video now. We have to look at Tony Boselli if you're watching on Jaguars.com. Pete Prisco with us. I'm J.P. Shadrick.
What was that?
What are we doing?
It was like he's like coughing up a lung or something over there.
I had a cough. I was trying to I don't know where to cough when the microphone's nearby, and I didn't want it. I was afraid to hit any buttons because last time the video didn't work, so I'm afraid to hit anything.
Why don't you hit it again?
A lot of stuff going on, Pete. Hey, you know what? I wanted to talk about Trevor's comments there because, number one, he is great. I love that he just owns it. He never is making excuses, never blaming anyone. I mean, I think he's a great leader. I really do. But I think what, has not been talked about enough. I mean, it's 14-20, and they're in the red zone.
You mean 20-14, right?
Yeah, 20. What did I say?
14-20. You have to usually say the higher score first.
They're trailing.
Well, we're trailing 14. I mean, I was saying Jaguars first. and it's a levels route with Kirk running it off, and you have Agnew in the flat. And I have no idea why he threw that ball. If he throws it to Agnew, he's getting the first down and maybe scoring. He has one guy to beat. And it's an easy throw. It's just sitting there in the flat. And I thought that was as bad. I mean, that hurt as much as anything, because you go down and score there, it's 21-20. It's a different feel of the game. And those
where did he throw it on that play?
Right there.
Oh, that one.
Looking at it right here. Yeah. If you have an all 22 look, I don't know if you
I saw. I did see it. Yeah.
Look at Agnew. It's a 3-level route. You have, I think it's Ingram or Marvin Jones deep in the end zone. Then you have the second level is Kirk, and then after that you have Agnew underneath. And Agnew is going to cause some serious problems for them.
Yeah, that was a first down, bare minimum.
Yes, maybe a touchdown. And you know this, Pete. When you in games like this, if you make it 21-20 there, it just gives the whole game a different feel. Gives your defense juice. You know, it just changes everything. And then this is what followed right afterwards is Sanders going for 50.
Yeah, and you're right. The kid, I'll give Bradbury credit because he made a really good play on that play, because he kind of was inside a little bit and then came off of Jones. Yeah, and made the play on that. But and you could see, it's funny because on the all 22 you could see kind of Marvin Jones' hands going up like, what's he doing when he threw it? Did you notice that?
I didn't, but I'll tell you, my hands were going up in the booth because I saw, I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, oh my gosh, where's he throw it to Agnew, and then, he made the wrong read.
Yeah, and let me ask you this though: with a drier ball and a better condition, does he fire a rocket in there and get it in?
I still think it's the wrong read, Pete.
Yeah, I do too, but I'm just asking you, do you think if he throws it on a line in the normal conditions, he gets it in there? Because that ball seemed like it floated a little bit.
Yeah, but I guess my point, Pete, it doesn't matter because you have to understand the situation you're playing in. You have to understand the weather.
I know where the read should go, but I'm just saying, and then I'm asking you that question. If it does in a normal situation, does he hit that pass? Or does he just pat it down?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
But then, I mean, on the 22 and on TV, and maybe it looked different when you guys were there, but it looked like it floated a little bit.
It didn't jump out at me, Pete, watching it live that it floated. It jumped out at me live and then on the all 22, and maybe I had a little confirmation bias because that's what I saw live. But I just looking at the play today, early this morning, I'm like, golly, just throw it to Agnew, and it's
he might cut right back in and get to the touchdown. You're right. I mean, it was a bad read, no question.
Hey, by the way, you were mentioning Agnew. I mean, the guy played well stepping in there on offense. Was Zay Jones out? 2 touchdowns. Pretty good.
I mean, they were easy schemed up touchdowns for him. So I'm not taking anything away from him, but the one, I love the design of that play where they made it look like he was crossing the formation and he just went back out. That was a great design. So, but yeah, I mean, they missed Zay Jones. Let's be real about that. He helps open stuff up in the middle of the field with his ability to go to the next level.
Yeah, his speed. But Agnew had a nice corner route too. So I probably lean more towards you, JP, that Agnew did a good job. I'm not as negative as Pete.
I'm not negative. I'm not negative.
Kind of negative.
Am I negative?
Negative. Kind of negative.
I mean, that's an easy catch. He did have the corner route though. Who was he the guy that was wide open on the one he overshot? No, that was
yes.
Yeah. It was him too.
Yeah. He did a nice double move on that one.
So give him more credit, Pete. Give him more credit.
No, that's a great move right there, cutting it back inside, making the play.
Yeah.
I mean, he played well. I mean, but they missed Zay Jones. Let's be real.
No doubt about it. Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
What it does give you, though, it gives you sit there and you think, okay, now I got another fast guy to throw in there and use a little bit more in different ways.
And how about the screen to the left where he let Cam Robinson get out in front of him and pancake the guy? That was a nice heads-up play to just let it develop a little more.
He waited. He was patient. That was
right
a good
here
play by him. Yeah. Look at Cam Robinson. Whoom.
Love that. Well, it's a heads-up play to let it develop. He said
I mean,
today, all I saw
Tony, you did
was
that a
green
million
shirts.
times, knocking over a guy like that. So I mean, it's not a hard block.
No, what I liked about Cam is he ran through it, because a lot of times you break down, because you're worried about missing the guy. But Cam did a really nice job of just running right through the guy.
Okay, here's a legitimate question for you now. Would you play Agnew more and not Marvin Jones?
That's a good question. I mean, he definitely has speed. I think Marvin's a better route runner, a more polished receiver. But I'm definitely, and I think they already have. I think Doug's already done it. I'm definitely getting him in the rotation of what, in making sure, because I think you can design some interesting things for him. But, you bring up Marvin Jones, that's another story. I mean, Trevor was not great. But I don't think, Marvin had a big drop. Kirk had balls that you'd expect him to catch. Yeah, they were tight and maybe contested, but I'm not saying it's catch every one of them, but he did not have a good day either.
Like the crossing one across the middle, and Jones dropped the one on the wide open on this sideline. He let it get to his body. It wasn't a great day for the passing game at all. And again, I think Trevor was bothered by the wet ball. He didn't look comfortable with it.
I think he was bothered by the wet ball and the wind, Pete. I mean, but that's okay. I mean, it's not like the guy's got big hands. He has all the tools to play in bad weather, but he hasn't played in a lot of bad weather games. And so this is good learning. I mean, hey, you got to understand the elements are a big deal, especially as you want to play playoff football. You're going to play in tough situations. And that was a tough situation. I mean, the wind and the rain the combination of the elements of that game was not easy.
And Jalen Hurts didn't throw the ball great either. It's not like
no one did. That's my point. I mean, but the reason the Eagles won, they didn't turn the ball over except for the pick six, and they ran the heck out of it. I mean, the other thing, if I was going to be critical of any of the play calling, I thought they got away from the run too much.
Let's come back.
Why did they get away from the run?
Yeah, let's finish that thought.
I don't know.
All right, well, let's come back. We'll keep that real a little later then. How about that? We're going to switch that up and get into that and keep it real in the second hour and follow up on that thought from Tony Boselli. We're back in a moment, though. We'll get into the defensive performance a little bit more. The Eagles ran for 210 yards on the Jags yesterday in the sloppy conditions in Philadelphia. Second hour, of course, we'll have, as we said, keeping it real. Fanatics fan questions. We'll go around the league. Plenty more ahead. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
Your pet means the world to you, so Pet Paradise created a slice of paradise just for them. Pet Paradise is your complete pet health care destination with resort-style day camp, overnight boarding, professional grooming, and compassionate veterinary care from New Day, all located under one roof. Pet Paradise has over 50 locations to serve pet fanatics like you nationwide. Book today at petparadise.com, the official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Your hometown gate now has more ways to save. Introducing My Gate Rewards, a new loyalty program with member-exclusive savings and fuel discounts. Earn points on in-store purchases, take advantage of special offers, and save on products you love. Score free coffee, fountain drinks, pizza, and soft serve with Gates Frequent Shopper Clubs. Then use your points on savings at the pump. Download the MyGate Rewards app in the App Store today or ask a store associate for more information. Go from good to Gate.
It's time for sunshine and summer showers, so it's more important than ever to make sure you call Crystal Clean for all your waterproofing needs. Waterproofing can extend the life of your building by keeping water outside where it belongs. And that Florida sun can beat up your business's paint job. Crystal Clean's painting services can bring your building back to life. From waterproofing to painting, schedule Crystal Clean today. Call 904-220-3337 or go to crystalclean.com. You don't have to worry when it's crystal clean.
Thinking about your favorite whiskey or whiskey-based cocktail for this weekend's party or tailgate? Us too. While you're out shopping for supplies, don't forget to pick up a bottle of the 2022 Jaguars whiskey available at most local Jacksonville liquor stores. Not leaving the couch this weekend? No problem. You can also order a bottle online at citrusdistillersonline.com. Every bottle is made locally here in Duval.
Jacksonville Sports Talk for Jacksonville sports fans. 1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Defensively, really just as a whole, coach, staff, players will all understand how to, improve basically from this game. There were certain things that we did this game that, I feel like in some ways, we made it harder than what it needed to be. And so really just, finding a way to clean it out.
Devin Lloyd, Jaguars rookie linebacker, the NFL Defensive Rookie of the month of September. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick with Pete Prisco and Tony Boselli. Glad you're along with us today on 1010XL.
J.P., I got to ask you something.
Yes, Pete. Yes.
This thing that they're selling here, they're offering a limited number of tickets for $71 in the lower bowl. To be part of the Boselli extravaganza. $71?
Yeah.
What the hell? Why they just give them away?
What's a good number, Pete? It's a good number.
I mean,
Okay, just stop. I got something more important. Every once, usually you come up with some good ideas and good comments. That was dumb. That was a dumb one.
Why is that? Why are you, I think Boselli's getting his ring this week. Let's
that's right.
up the ante a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of you saying dumb things, I ran into Peter King at he was at the Eagles Jags game, and he mentioned, which I was shocked in a good way. He said, "Hey, I was listening to you and Pete last week."
Wow. All right. Nice.
I told him I apologize.
We got a lot of sneaky listeners out there.
Yeah, it was good. But back to the Devin Lloyd. What hit me listening to Devin Lloyd, and it's the same thing with Trevor and really any of this team that talks right now, is there's been a change, and I don't know if people notice it. This is a team that expects to win. For years, the last couple of years especially, this has been a team happy just to be there. And guys just happy to be there. That's the feeling I got a lot of times. It's one of the things that drove me crazy. The expectations were so damn low. We didn't expect to win. We didn't expect to be good. And that's changed. You listen to Devin Lloyd there, and you heard Trevor earlier. I talk to these guys, when we travel or on the field and the coaches and everything else. One of the things that is going on that is super positive culturally is that this team expects to go win. They expected to beat the Eagles. They're disappointed that they lost because they feel like they're a better team. They feel like they should have won that game. And if they play well, they're right. And that's a big, that might not feel like a big deal to the fans. And I go, great. Who cares what they expect? Just damn win. And I get that from a fan's perspective. I'm telling you from a player's perspective and being in the locker room, when it shifts to where you expect to win, like I go back to the 96 when we went on that run and we kind of didn't even know what the heck was going on. Then we won in the playoffs. But from that moment on, we came back 97. Like in 97, we expected to win. Like we thought we were one of the best teams. And that happened, that transition during that 96 year, where by the end of the year we got to that point. But coming from, you come from the expansion team to that next year. I'm not saying guys didn't want to win, and I'm not saying guys didn't think they could win. And we had some talented guys like Leon Searcy came over as a free agent, Keith McCardell, Clyde Simmons. And we had guys who had won before. So don't get me wrong. But I'm talking about
you're talking about as a group.
As a group.
Yeah.
Like I went into every game thinking we could win. And I was going to, and I had expectations how I was going to play and needed to play.
Right.
But I think what's changing now, and for the good, and I give Doug a ton of credit, and I give the players a ton of credit. This isn't a group that just hopes to win. This isn't a group that's just happy to show up and play well. They expect to win. And that was very obvious in Philly. It was very obvious when they lost and the disappointment and everything else.
But they handled losing a lot better than you guys did. You guys were babies when you lost.
How so? Give me an example.
Oh, come on. You go in that locker room, there was always a confrontation or two after a loss. Give me a break, Tony.
Pete, did I ever avoid anything with the media and answering any questions?
No. But people, you admit, after a loss, there was much more confrontation in the locker room.
Well, we were but I think it's also a different era, too.
It is a different era, but these guys, like, you listen to Devin Lloyd, he doesn't sound like a rookie.
Mm-mm.
No.
He's
a mature guy.
And
so
Trevor Lawrence doesn't sound like a second-year quarterback, but then, of course, they paraded him out every week to make him the sacrificial lamb last year.
Right.
I wonder how much of that is due to the social media, too, because these guys are used to communicating probably much more. Now, being at SC, I never felt like it was a big change from the NFL because at SC you're national media and you have LA Times and all the big networks, everything out there.
And for those two guys in particular, remember Trevor was the face of Clemson. They were winning national championships every year, and Devin Lloyd the last year or so was a big leader on that team. They won the Pac-12 and went to the Rose Bowl. Like, he's out there every week. Right. So that they've had some experience.
But Pete brings up a good point. We were a salty group. That
very
first
much
team.
So.
We were very salty, and I think a little bit of it is we had a chip on our shoulders constantly. Like, it's us against the world. It was us against Tom. It was us against everybody. It's like, you know what? But it was one of the things that made that team super close and unique too. Is like we were a scrappy group, and you had to be because that expansion team, the way it was built, and yeah, we added some nice pieces in '96 and throughout the years. But there was a chip. We had it was a salty group. I don't even know.
Yeah, and even guys like later on that were like a guy like Kevin Hardy, he's a really good guy, Kevin Hardy, but he would be salty in times. Guys were always salty.
What would you say to get them salty, though?
Don't you think that Pete that comes from the head coach? Like,
yes,
because Tom sets the culture.
Yeah,
and we kind of followed his. Like, he was the saltiest of all salties.
Oh yeah,
and so like we'd see our head coach is salty. Like, hey, this is how we roll. Like,
but this team, this group, and we've like the 2017 group was salty. They were pains in the asses in their own way. A bunch of those guys were.
They were.
In 15 and 16, there were a lot of them. But this group doesn't. And some of this has to do with the fact that COVID, they haven't dealt with it like constantly. They've been bad, so they haven't had a chance to be good and start losing tough games. You know what I mean, Tony? Like, that's when you really get the saltiness.
Well, and they'll get salty. The better they get, the more salty they'll get. Because when you lose, and you can sense a little bit in Trevor and Devin Lloyd here, like, because when you lose, it's painful. And Doug said something really interesting. He said, you need to get to the point where winning hurts more than winning. Losing hurts more than winning feels good. And that's a pretty true statement. I think back, there was nothing, like, winning was great. It was fun. But at least with Tom, you knew you were going to get your ass kicked the next day, no matter what, win or lose. And, but losing was miserable.
Terrible.
Like, you want to get to the point where the team just hates to lose. Like, you would rather die. You'll do anything to win a football game because you don't want to lose. And so I thought that was an interesting comment by Doug.
How
was his, by the way, real quick, how was his, they seemed like they welcomed him with open arms up there.
Standing ovation, Pete.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Even the evil Eagle fans can be nice sometimes, huh?
Yeah.
Right. All right, let's come back. We've got plenty ahead. One other point on that, too, by the way. The third-year players this year had never seen media in the locker room before in the NFL. Remember that 20 COVID year?
That's
allowed.
crazy. That
21
is crazy
last year.
Yeah,
not
and
allowed.
like most of them will have. Think about the life expectancy of an NFL player. Most of them will have more years without people in the locker room than they will with them in there.
Like, when they open up the locker room, like the second and third year guys, are like, what are you guys doing in here? Like,
right.
What are we doing? This is
crazy.
how it's supposed to work. So just a different environment now. We'll come back. AFC South. We'll review what happened in the division yesterday. Busy couple of weeks for the Jaguars in the division coming up. And we'll get the AFC power rankings. I'm sure Tony will we'll see if he amends his rankings from last week or not. And in the second hour, of course, your social media questions and plenty more ahead. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between, this truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this is Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty, offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
Life's better with a financial partner like Ameris Bank. From opening your first savings account to funding your kids' college tuition, we're with you.
From a flash of a business idea to growing that company just as fast.
We're with you.
From buying a home to tackling the renovations to make it truly yours.
We're with you. You have big plans.
Financial questions.
And decisions to make.
And for every idea, life goal, and new venture, we're with you all the way. Visit amerisbank.com/withyou to get started. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
It's football season, and time to take your game to the next level with a Ford F-150 truck. Light up your tailgate with an available Pro Power onboard generator. And with an available 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine, you can tow just about anything you need to rule the stadium lot. Ford F-150, part of the F-Series lineup that have been the best-selling pickups for 45 straight years. Get to your local Ford store today. Proud sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, it's Marissa Garnhart, girlfriend of Jacksonville Jaguars running back James Robinson. The team always has a game day plan, and so do I.
This week at Publix, save $10 instantly when you spend $40 on the P&G products that help you tackle everything from pregame prep to postgame cleanup, including Crest, Old Spice, Bounty, and Tide. Clip your digital coupon now at Publix.com.
Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
The station that the Jaguars listen to, 1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That play's designed the offensive line, tackle and the guard to come out and lead block. And then when I caught it, I seen nothing but green jersey. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna let Cam get out here first, and then I'm gonna start running. So, and I seen Cam pancake him, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just follow him. So I just kept going. Credit to Cam. Cam's probably one of the most athletic tackles in the game right now. We do a lot of things to get him in space, lead block and stuff like that. So it's just fun watching him. He's been doing that all year, too. He did that at the 44 on the Colts, too. Completely pancaked him.
That's Jamal Agnew, Jaguars wide receiver and return specialist on the wide receiver screenplay, where he let Cam Robinson get out in front and do the rest. And a nice gainer there for them on a 2nd and 5 play. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Pete Prisco, and Tony Boselli. And we take a live look outside TIAA Bank Field if you're watching on Jaguars.com and Jags social media, or if you're driving by on the expressway. You can see the new Miller Electric Center underway. The construction continues. The indoor facility, the roof of it looks to be about half built. Well, at least the beams of the roof. The roof hasn't been put on yet. A lot of the building, it's moving along pretty well. And they're starting the grandstand area on the side of the fields. And here we go. It's supposed to be open and ready for training camp of 2023. And we're looking forward to getting into that building for sure, moving ahead. All right, so let's look around the AFC South and take a look at the division standings after yesterday's action. Well, the Jaguars are still in first place. 2-2, they're tied with Tennessee, but the Jaguars have the better conference record at 2-0.
We're not going to start doing that in week 4.
I'm just telling you those stats, Pete. The stats don't lie. The Jaguars are in first place technically right now. Yesterday, the Chargers beat the Texans 34-24. The Titans over the Colts 24-17. Titans built a big lead early, including the second touchdown pass of the game from Ryan Tannehill, Mike Keith, and Dave McGinnis on Titans radio.
Tannehill looking, throwing, completing, scoring. Chig Okonkwo, touchdown, Titans! Oh, Ryan Tannehill, what a vet move. He looked this whole defense off to the right and gave Okonkwo a chance to sit and then ran what we call a little sting route.
That made it 24-3. It was 24-17. So, Pete, do you agree with the standings in your rankings of this division? What do you feel like right now?
I'd put the Titans at number 1.
Really? Well, we can't hear you, Tony.
We can't hear Tony. Which might not be a bad thing either.
Oh, sorry. You're crazy.
Put the Titans at 1, the Jaguars at 2.
No, Jags 1. It's just how the standings go. Jags 1, Titans 2, Colts 3, Texans 4.
Why the switch?
You can make a case for either team. I just put the Titans ahead of them. I think the Titans have righted things.
Because you're a Jag. They haven't righted things. They scored 0 points in the second half. How did they right anything? They played by the way, they played a Colts team that we shut out.
At home.
Do it again.
Oh,
they're going to do it again. They're going to do it again when they go up there in 2 weeks, isn't it?
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Jonathan Taylor hasn't been able to do anything. He had 42 yards and 20 carries, and he's dinged up. The Colts aren't good right now. I'm not going to say they are, but it's between the Titans. Tony knows that the Titans have that toughness about them that shows up. Vrabel gets them to play. They bounce back. They get blown out at Buffalo. They bounce back, beat the Raiders, and go on the road and win a division game. That's just a sign of a tough, physical, nasty team. You know it. You would take them too.
I didn't say they weren't.
Admit it.
No, I think I have a ton of respect for the Titans and Mike Vrabel. Ton of it. But they're not better than the Jags. The Jags played their worst. They played their worst possible game against the only undefeated team in the NFL on the road in their place, and they still should have won the game. They had a chance to win it. Or tied and sent it to overtime. I mean, they had 5 turnovers. Most of the time, you have 5 turnovers, you're getting beat like Tennessee did against Buffalo. So no, I'm sorry.
Are they still a top 10 team, the Jaguars?
Yeah.
Wow.
In the top 10 in the AFC?
No, not in the AFC, in the league.
They'd be right on the edge.
Okay, here's another one for you. Is the game still getting flexed when they go to Kansas City?
I like that.
if we win the next 5, yes.
Next 5.
You're locking that? Are you locking the next 5?
No, I don't. Well, it's too far ahead to lock.
Well, I mean, all right. So this week is.
You made a statement, so if they win the next 5, so let's see if you will lock it. Let's convince them to lock it. Go ahead.
Here we go. This week,
I just said if. There's a big difference between the if and yet locking.
Go ahead, JP.
Tony. You got to hear the schedule first before you can say no. The home against the Texans this week in the 71 game. You might have heard of that.
Lock it. Lock it. It's locked.
At the Colts.
I'll lock that one too. By the way, there's the double lock.
Double lock. Back-to-back dubs.
Houston. Undefeated. It's never been beat.
Home against the Giants, week 7.
They'll win that one.
They're going to win that.
Okay, that's 3 in a row, apparently. And then London against Denver, the home away from home for the Jags.
I think they're going to beat the heck out of them.
Pete, you like that one?
Yeah, I think they'll win that one too.
You're both 4-0 in this run right now. And then home against the Raiders, early time game for the Raiders.
They should win that one too. They should win the 5 in a row.
Wow. Okay, 5 in a row, and then at Kansas City, week 10. Here we go. Flex it.
Say good night.
Flex on them.
Say good night.
That's where it ends. That's where it ends.
Pete, that's the end of the line, Pete?
I don't know. I don't think Kansas City is quite as good as they once were.
Okay, so we think they have a real chance to win the next 5. But the reality is they probably won't win all 5.
No, probably not. But it would not surprise me if they were 7-2.
It wouldn't surprise you if they won all 5.
Wait, so you think bare minimum they should be 6-3?
Yes, agreed.
Wow. That means they're going to go past our win total for the year, like after the first part of the season.
Yeah. That means by Thanksgiving.
No, past years. I said 7-9. You said 6-8. So
I did.
Yes, you're
mine's in jeopardy.
Big jeopardy.
Since you already got him in the playoffs and everything.
I didn't put him in the playoffs.
Well, okay,
yet.
if they win the next 5, which you think they can do, and maybe have a legitimate shot to do, they're going to be in the postseason if they do that.
If they get to 6-3, you would think so. But I really. Or 7-2. 7-2 might be hard not to, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because they'd still have another game with Houston. They'd still have who else is on that schedule? I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
We got the Lions at the Lions.
Lions is not going to be an easy game. They can score points.
They can't stop anybody. They're on pace to give up more points than any team in the history of the league.
They got the Titans twice.
Defense ever.
Titans twice.
So let me.
Tough.
Go ahead.
I'll say this.
Keep going, JP.
Hold on, Pete. This division's going to come down to the 2 Titans games.
Of course. I would agree with you. Go ahead. Keep going, JP. Let's see the other games on that schedule.
After the bye week, then it's Thanksgiving week. The Jaguars host the Ravens. And then the Jags are at the Lions. And then the Jaguars are at the Titans in Nashville, where they haven't won in forever. Home against the Dallas Cowboys, December 18th. At the Jets. At the Texans. Home against the Titans.
That schedule gets brutal for them.
And a lot of road games. 4 out of the last, 6? Yeah.
That's unless they improve dramatically, that's going to be a best case scenario. They win 2 of those.
And you got to keep this team healthy, too.
What are you talking about? 2?
All right. You going to beat the Ravens at home?
The Ravens weren't so hot against last week.
They played Buffalo.
Okay, so Buffalo.
Okay, they're going to beat you think they'll beat the Cowboys at home?
I think they can, yeah. Because I think the Cowboys are limited offensively.
Well, Dak Prescott will be back by then.
Even with Dak, I think they're limited.
All right. So you have him winning every game. Tony's got. Forget about this. We're not even going to do this, JP. It's done. He's got him winning every damn game.
Of course
there isn't one game where you say they're not winning. Not one.
I haven't said anything about the Chiefs.
So they're going to win all but one. So okay, put them in as the number 1 seed.
Yeah, you get a week off. Great.
Could happen.
What would they be? They'd be 14-3 based on your analysis, because you got them losing to the Chiefs and winning against everybody else. Well, you know they're not winning in Tennessee. They haven't won there since Boselli played.
I think this is the year they break the Tennessee curse.
Yeah, the last win up there was the Will Blackman sack, forced fumble, return touchdown game. So it's been a long time ago.
That was like, what, 13 or 14?
2014.
Yeah, but then if you even go if that game, but you go into past that one, there was a bunch of other ones in Tennessee that was it's just been a house of horrors for them.
It has not been a good place for us to go play.
No, even when you were the better team, it was never a good place for you to play.
Never.
It's time to change that. But we've got a few weeks before we can go change that. Hey, that'll do it for our first hour.
Hey, hold on, JP. When we come back in the second hour, one thing I want to talk about that we missed so far, the Fadakasi injury impacted him in this game. And if he is out, they have major depth issues up front.
Mm-hmm.
Gotsis and Roy Robertson Harris had to play a bunch of snaps last week.
We will get to that when we return in the second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour. Of course, we'll go through the top stories of the day. We'll keep it real and sell some wine and do all that and discuss this Jaguars offense. Again, yesterday, 5 turnovers. The Jags defense gave up 210 yards rushing to the Philadelphia Eagles in a 29-21 loss. We've got the Fanatics fan questions coming up. We'll go around the NFL. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go with Pete Prisco and Tony Boselli. I'm J.P. Shadrick, and this is Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Jaguars Today. All Jaguars, all NFL, all the time. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash. Made fresh. Daly's.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Struggling with high energy bills? Now is the time to replace your old windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. Right now, get $300 off every window and $825 off all patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Visit rbafla.com for details. Offer expires September 30th. Restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, the official window and door replacement company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CGC 1527613.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Land Rover Defender story began with the simple thought of creating an exceptionally capable off-road vehicle, becoming the go-anywhere, do-anything all-terrain machine. Today, there's a new Land Rover Defender, the toughest and most advanced Land Rover vehicle ever. From the beginning, Land Rover knew the new Defender was capable of great things. Motor Trend's 2021 SUV of the Year is just the latest example. Test drive the new Land Rover Defender today at Land Rover Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard, or go to LandRoverJacksonville.com. Land Rover, above and beyond.
We talk about it all the time. It's just we've just got to focus on us, right? And anytime you make the mistakes we did, turn the ball over like we did, it's just and where we turned the ball over, you're not going to keep good teams out of the end zone, and that's really the difference in the football game. I'm proud of our guys for they fought there to the end, gave us a chance to at least see what was going to happen there, at the end of the game, but. It's just the turnovers and mental errors that really cost us today.
That's head coach Doug Peterson after the game in Philadelphia yesterday. And welcome back. It's the second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour on a Monday afternoon. Pete Prisco and Tony Boselli coming up. I'm J.P. Shadrick. And in a battle of first-place teams, the Philadelphia Eagles improved to 4-0 with a 29-21 win over the Jaguars. They fell to 2-2. The Jaguars suffered 5 giveaways on offense, including an interception in the red zone and 4 fumbles from Trevor Lawrence, 2 of them on sack-forced fumbles, 2 of them on mishandles in sloppy conditions in Philly. The number 1 run defense in the NFL going in for the Jags gave up 210 rushing yards to the Eagles. The Jags built a 14-0 lead and then gave up 20 points in the second quarter on 3 straight Eagles drives and gave up that lead going into the locker room. All that aside, as Peterson just said, the Jags had the ball in their hands down 8 inside 2 minutes to go with an opportunity to tie the game. And despite what Pete thinks about it, the Jaguars are still in first place with a better conference record than the Titans. Up next, 2 straight divisional games. This week at home against the Texans. Next week, a road trip to face the Colts. Both games have been locked by Pete Prisco and Tony Boselli tonight. That about covers it, I think. Right, Pete?
Well, Pete, did you lock the Indy game too, or just
no? I didn't. I just locked the Texans game.
Oh,
I didn't lock it.
Excuse me. The Texans game has been locked.
Yes, the only Texans. I didn't lock the Indy game. I think they're going to win the Indy game, but let me get through one game at a time.
You think you're going to win every game? What are you talking about?
No, Pete. I only focus on one game at a time.
Oh, here we go, Coach.
Week-to-week league.
I'm trying to get to 1-0 this week, Pete. That's all I'm trying to do.
Oh God. You throw
but I want to go back to what we ended the last hour with.
Yes.
I know we might have some new listeners, but hang in there with us. The Fatukasi injury, I don't think has been talked about enough. One, he's one of their best defensive linemen. Now, Robertson Harris has been playing as well as anybody, so he's right there. When he went out with the quad injury and did not return, that makes them very thin. And if he's out for an extended period of time, they got some issues. They're already not very big up there. So their starting 3 are Fatukasi, Hamilton at nose, and Robertson Harris at the other end. All big, powerful men. The backups for them, they have no backup nose, is Adam Gotsis, good player, but not a big man. As far as he's a big man to every
right, but he's not a big defensive lineman.
Right. Very good player. Nothing against him. Dwan Smoot, who is a hybrid, he's more of an outside, not a big man.
Right.
And Arden Key, who is a defensive end.
Right.
He's slender.
So
they
cut a big guy during camp, though, didn't they?
They did, but my point is they started getting pushed around. I mean, Robertson Harris played. It felt like every snap because they couldn't get him off the field.
Did he get a hands to the face penalty?
Yes.
And he did. And by the way, he does it a lot. If you watch the tape, his hands are always up near the helmet. He got away with one too. Landon Dickerson was complaining about it on another one, and I went back and looked at it. His hands were up there. He gets his hands up high.
Yeah, but
that's all right.
To your point, Tony, Roy Robertson Harris played 66 of the 82 snaps on defense.
Yeah, it's too
That's
many.
80%.
Too many.
That's a ton.
Yeah.
What did Hamilton play?
Hamilton played 50 snaps, so 61%.
That's still, I mean, they played a lot of snaps. And then, how about Gotsis? Because he played the whole second half.
Gotsis, 58 snaps, 71%.
58. That's too, like, they don't have any depth.
No.
Did they update Fadakasi's injury?
Yeah.
It's still a quad,
No.
and they're just kind of waiting to see on it. Nothing definitive today.
Well, if he can't go, Tony, they got to find a big guy to go put in there.
That's my point. I mean, they can't. I don't think they can stay status quo.
Would Ndamukong Suh help?
He's a big body. I mean, you're not. I'm just looking for somebody who's not going to get pushed around.
He's not playing, so.
Yeah. Would they want to pay what he's wanting to get? I mean, do you know what that is?
I mean, it's the minimum, veteran minimum, I would think, with some incentives in it.
The question is, does he want to play?
Right.
I mean, that's the real question.
Yeah. And what's he look like?
Yeah. I mean,
he could go one of two ways. You know how linemen do. They either go one or two ways. Either he's tiny or he's gotten big.
But we talked about this in the preseason, Pete. I thought this would become an issue. I thought they were too thin with big guys. I didn't think they were big enough, especially in the AFC South where you got people who want to run the ball at you. And the Eagles wanted to run the ball at you. Now, the Eagles was different. They spread you out, but they spread you out, and they were physical. That Jason Kelce is the best center in football. I don't care what anyone says.
It's unbelievable. I sent out some clips of him today on Twitter. It's just the way he gets on that double team and gets off and gets to the second level. It's
the best.
Fantastic. And you would think with a power player on him, because he's not a big guy, that you'd be able to take advantage of him. But he's so good at the angles and twisting his body and moving you and taking you where you're going, and then getting off of you and getting and move. I mean, it's a clinic. Watching him play center is a clinic.
Yeah, he's as good. I mean, he's as good as I've seen for a while. But that's something to monitor. I mean, how they handle, depending on the severity of Fadakasi's injury, is good. I mean, I didn't think they were deep enough coming into the season, and now they're even less deep with Fadakasi on the injury report.
That's a hard team to prepare for, their run game.
Very much so.
And you could see at times where they were hesitant.
I thought the linebackers were very happy.
You're being kind. You're being kind. I thought Luakon had played really well the week before. I didn't think he played well at all in this game. He was really hesitant. And Lloyd was a tick slow, almost like game one.
And then the lack of pass rushing for is an issue. Now, I don't want to be too critical because I don't know if they were being told to kind of mush rush to take away the run. Because they were, I mean, now Trayvon Walker's had an issue all year where he just goes right down the middle of offensive linemen.
He was getting beat up pretty good by Lane Johnson yesterday.
Now, Lane Johnson's as good as right tackle in the NFL. But you got to make him work at least.
Right, he was going right at him every time. He just run right into him.
And and even Josh, when he had the backup tackle, he was doing a lot of bull rush. So I don't know if they were being told to kind of power rush to try to keep him in the pocket. Now Josh Allen was getting some push. He took the backup tackle back into the lap of Jalen Hurts a couple times and caused that one sack that he got.
Yeah, they did. They need to get better pressure with 4, else you're going to expose your corners. By the way, we were critical on here last week at Darius Williams. I thought he had his best game yesterday.
Yeah, he played well.
He had the tip ball that caused the interception.
He was just much more active in coverage and play. He looked like maybe that summer really of not practicing really impacted him, because he looked like getting back to where he was. At least.
Yeah, that was a great play on that pick.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Jaguars do have just one defensive tackle on the practice squad, Nick Thurman, who, I think he's 305 pounds or something. But
so that's not a big guy either. I mean, it's a big guy. They need a big power guy in there. Tony Sue would be, if he's in shape, I'd make the call to him, wouldn't you?
I'd look into it.
Even if Fadakasi comes back, they need another one.
Well, I do think they need more depth. There's no doubt about that.
I mean,
no doubt about it.
It's too bad Malcolm Brown didn't work out.
Yeah, that'd have been good.
Right.
Did he not want to play this year? It seems like he didn't want to play.
He did not have a great camp. Let's put it that way.
They also have Israel Antwine, but he's in the 290s or so on the defensive line and on the practice squad. So, yeah, something to watch on the defensive side of the ball for sure. So 210 rushing yards.
Yeah, but I cautioned about this last week. Remember, and I referenced the Saints game last year. The Saints were the number one run defense in the league last year, and went to Philly and gave up over 200 yards on the ground. Same type of situation. It's different when you're in season preparing for these guys because they do it so different. It makes everybody, particularly linebackers, they got to hesitate. You can't just go flying around. It's a different style. It's hard to play and it's hard to prepare for when you're on a in season. If you're preparing for them in week 1, it's different. If you're preparing for them in the postseason when you have a little break, that's different. But when you're in season and you're in a grind and you're used to playing one style and all of a sudden here comes this different style, it's hard to prepare for.
Yeah, but not hard enough where you give up 200-plus yards, Pete.
Well, it happened to the best run defense in the league last year, too. They did get, 50-something on the one pop? Isn't that what it was?
35.
But those count.
30.
I know. They actually did a decent job on Hurts, keeping him contained.
Yeah, well, that's fine. But if Miles Sanders is rushing for 1,000 yards, who cares?
They didn't play well. The linebackers didn't play well. Period.
Well, I don't think.
Isn't it amazing though? You look at the stat sheet, you'd say, "Oh my gosh, he had 16 and he had 14."
Well, that's why, and this is nothing against Aluakon. When everyone said last year, "Oh, we signed Aluakon, he had the most tackles in the NFL last year," I'm like, who cares?
Right.
He was on the worst defense in the NFL too. So who else is making tackles for the Falcons last year?
But up until this week, he had played pretty well though for the Jaguars. I give him credit.
That's why I said
no, I know,
about
but he didn't play well. He didn't play well Sunday. He was right. Not. He didn't play good football Sunday.
My whole point was just saying, someone had the most tackles. That does not translate always that they played well.
Correct.
Let's come back in a moment. We're going to keep it real. We're going to get into the offense and as Tony brought up earlier, some maybe getting away from the run. Or did they? We'll get into that. We're going to keep it real. That's the whole idea of this segment. And Jaguars Game Day Radio is brought to you by ViStar Credit Union. Do good, bank better. This is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Thinking about your favorite whiskey or whiskey-based cocktail for this weekend's party or tailgate? Us too. While you're out shopping for supplies, don't forget to pick up a bottle of the 2022 Jaguars whiskey available at most local Jacksonville liquor stores. Not leaving the couch this weekend? No problem. You can also order a bottle online at citrusdistillersonline.com. Every bottle is made locally here in Duval.
At ViStar Credit Union, you inspire them to go the extra mile to meet your financial needs. That's why they offer Jaguars fans more banking options like better rates and no hidden fees. Their team is also dedicated to making the communities they serve stronger, volunteering their time and talents while donating millions to local nonprofits. ViStar Credit Union, ViStarCU.org. Go Jags!
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa. Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty, offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Tired of hearing "fine" to every question you ask your child? Conversations with a child or teen in your life may sometimes feel one-sided, but they help build the foundation for lifelong mental wellness. Getting started can be difficult, but you don't have to do it alone. Wolfson Children's On Our Sleeves program provides just what you need to spark conversations that have lasting benefits. For free tools and expert advice delivered to your inbox each month, visit wolfsonchildrens.com/onoursleeves.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli. Your social media questions coming up in just a little bit. We'll go around the league as well. And thanks to our social media army, if you will, that follow this show. We left off a defensive tackle in the practice squad. Corey Peters is now in his 12th year in the NFL out of Kentucky. He's also available, guys, if necessary in that spot, depending on what Fatukasi does.
He would be brought up. He played for the Falcons, the Cardinals. He's the guy that they would probably activate.
So there you have it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what Fatukasi's status is moving ahead and all that. As we go ahead in the week here. It's time now to Keep It Real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real Ingredients, award-winning wine by Robert Mondavi. Well, Tony, earlier in the show, you said they might have got away from the run in this game a little bit. Doug Peterson might say, hey, they were behind the chains a bit. They missed some open plays. They had some drops. Did they get away from the run too early for you, Tony?
Well, I guess early in that success, they were running a first down and they were getting 4 or 5 yards a pop, and they were getting ahead of the chains. And it felt like there was a couple series out there, and I don't have them. And maybe it was more the feel of it, in fact that we weren't on the field very much because they were controlling the clock with the run game. And so to Doug's defense, we had limited opportunities. But it felt like there was some opportunity. Like, I'll go back to the series that Pete brought up. 2 back-to-back wide receiver screens, 1 drop, 1 poorly thrown, and then a draw. And so there was just a couple times, and then coming out in the second half, that first drive, if I remember. What was the first drive of the second half, JP? I want to make sure it's the right one. Do you have
the first drive of the second half?
3 straight passes, if I'm not mistaken.
Here we go. Yes, it was. The, third quarter. Eagles had the ball first. Jaguars get it. 1st and 10, Lawrence sacked for no yards. 2nd and 10, Lawrence incomplete, short middle to Kirk. 3rd down and 10, incomplete, short middle to Agnew. And then a punt of 61 yards.
Yeah, so now in Doug's defense, the first down naked bootleg that Trevor took a sack when he shouldn't have. He should have thrown it away or run the ball, or actually really what he should have done is Christian Kirk, which is the second level player on the crossing route, is wide open. Just throw the ball to him. It's wide open. And so Doug's right. That's a missed opportunity. But then you pass it again, nothing. Now you're in 3rd and long. And, there wasn't a lot of success doing that yesterday as well. So maybe it was more of the feeling it had, because early I thought they did have some nice runs on first down to set up to get ahead of the chains. Now,
did James Robinson carry much after he fumbled?
No, I think he only had 1 carry. 1 or 2 carries.
Yeah, what was that all about? Was that a punishment of sorts? I mean, why did he? I mean, that was weird.
How many carries did James have on the day?
Total on the day, James Robinson. Let me flip back real quick. He didn't have. He had an 8 for 29.
Yeah.
And so up until after the fumble, did he have any? Maybe one.
I know he had one for sure. Like, to me, that was the type of game with that weather and everything where you get the run game.
You would think you would run the ball.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles did.
That's more my comment than anything. It felt like it was a day to run the ball, and they didn't do it enough.
Yeah, I think he got penalized for the fumble. I thought that left the building last year.
Well, I'm not going to – I think that's unfair, Pete, to say, because we don't know that.
Well, why didn't he get any more carries then?
Well, if you look at how many total plays did they have on offense, I mean, they didn't have very many plays.
So, hey, to Pete, to your point, the 5th carry of the day for him was the fumble.
So he had 3 more carries after that.
3 more carries.
And one on the next play after that. He carried it the next play for -1.
So that means he carried it for -1. So that means he had 6. That means he had 2 more carries the rest of the game in any series on the field in a game that was relatively tight. That doesn't make any sense.
But how many plays did they have total, JP, in the game?
Stand by. Flipping back.
But yeah, it seems like he was punished.
Well, if he's punished, Pete, you take him out after the fumble. You don't keep him in there.
They only had 46 plays in the game.
That's my point, Pete. They only had 46 plays.
Did he get dinged?
No.
I don't think so. Remember, the Eagles held the ball for 39 minutes in the game, almost 40 minutes.
Pete, I actually think it was less about James getting fumbling. There wasn't that many plays after that.
Yeah, they didn't have the ball.
Yeah.
Didn't have the ball. They would first play fumbles or, whatever happened.
Yeah,
they'd lose it.
Anytime you go 3 and out to open the second half, you're not going to – and then they get the ball, you're not going to get the ball for a lot of the time. Yeah.
So, there you go. That's the story on that one. So, all right.
But let's put this out there, though. They need to run the ball better.
Better
and more.
But better more than more, right?
But again, I'm the one who said it. It felt like they got away from the run. But when I put, maybe I jumped the conclusion, blurted that a little quick. You only had 46 plays. You had 5 turnovers. That's 5 possessions you lost.
Yeah,
that's true.
It was not a well played game. Let's put that by the offense in any way, shape, or form. Is there any other than Agnew? Is there anybody sit there and say they were really, really good on that offense?
I'd love to know how Cam Robinson graded out. I thought he played pretty well.
Oh, he wants to know grades now. Pete, how about that?
I will tell him.
He's calling for him now. That's how much he loves Pro Football
Let's
Focus.
put it this way. Do you think he got a good grade?
Yeah, I think he'd be the highest rated offensive lineman. Him or Sheriff.
Sheriff was the highest rated offensive lineman. Cam was second. They're close. Cam was the highest rated pass protecting offensive lineman.
I thought Cam did a good job.
Who was the lowest rated offensive lineman?
It's either Fortner or the right tackle.
Jawan was the lowest rated pass protector, and Fortner was the second lowest. Yeah. So actually the offensive line, Barch got a decent grade in pass protection and overall. His grade wasn't bad. He's gone up each of the 4 games. He's gone up.
I thought Barch played pretty well.
Fortner got just abused by Jordan Davis on that one play.
So there you have it.
Yeah.
Keeping it real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real Ingredients, award-winning wine by Robert Mondavi. We'll return with the Fanatics fan questions off Twitter today. It's been busy. The Jaguars fall in Week 4, 29-21 to the Eagles. The Jags are now 2-2, but still in first place in the AFC South. And this is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dream Finders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dream Finders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Hey, it's Marissa Garnhart, girlfriend of Jacksonville Jaguars running back James Robinson. Enter now for your chance to win behind-the-scenes access, game tickets, and more. Look for details at Publix where you can pick up all your game day needs, including Bounty, Tide, Pantene, and Crest. Tackle everything in one stop. Available at Publix where shopping is a pleasure.
It's Ford Truck Month. Now's the time to get a great deal on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get a Ford Maverick or get after any adventure in a Ford Ranger pickup. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But you better get going. These deals won't last. Get to Ford Truck Month. Some models, trims, and features may not be available or may be subject to change. See your local dealer for details.
Life's better with a financial partner like Ameris Bank. From opening your first savings account to funding your kids' college tuition, we're with you.
From a flash of a business idea to growing that company just as fast.
We're with you.
From buying a home to tackling the renovations to make it truly yours.
We're with you. You have big plans.
Financial questions.
And decisions to make.
And for every idea, life goal, and new venture, we're with you all the way. Visit amerisbank.com/withyou to get started. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bono's is currently expanding its brand with franchise opportunities throughout the Southeast and beyond. Over 70 years of authentic Southern pit barbecue and owning your own business are a great combo. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Your hometown gate now has more ways to save. Introducing My Gate Rewards, a new loyalty program with member-exclusive savings and fuel discounts. Earn points on in-store purchases, take advantage of special offers, and save on products you love. Score free coffee, fountain drinks, pizza, and soft serve with Gates frequent shopper clubs. Then use your points on savings at the pump. Download the My Gate Rewards app in the App Store today or ask a store associate for more information. Go from good to Gate.
Jacksonville Sports Talk for Jacksonville sports fans. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So yeah, it's really, really frustrating, disappointing, but we got to have a short memory just like we do when we win. You know, when we play well, same thing when we don't play well, when I don't play well, when we lose a game, whatever it is. You know, 24-hour rule, we got to watch this tape, learn from it, and move on to the Texans next week.
There you have it, the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. The 24-hour rule has come and gone. It's on to Houston. Well, not quite yet for those on social media. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli. And let's go to social media. The Fanatics fan questions. Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. Shop today and rep your Jags gear on game day and every day. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
You know, hey, JP, before you start asking this first question.
Okay.
You know, Pete, we didn't have the 24-hour rule when I played. Tom would be mad all week and would bring up stuff throughout the week.
Let it go. Let it go.
He wouldn't stop, huh? Never.
Oh, well, if we won, it was a 24-hour rule. Actually, if we won, it was like a whatever time you woke up in the morning, it was over because film was starting and he was getting after us. And then if we lost, though, boy, it was going to be a minute.
I can tell you this. He never had the 24-hour rule with me because if you guys did something poorly on Sunday, I made a big deal of it on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, it's probably your fault, Pete, because we just get worn out all week.
Way to go, Pete. All right, here we go. Question number one. We put out the cat signal earlier. Here's the best we came up with. At John C. 300. Is it concerning at all that we've lost twice this year when Doug abandoned the run? It was raining sideways and Trevor was struggling. J-Rob was the hero we deserved and the one we needed. Well, we just talked about that a little bit. It wasn't statistically what you thought. They didn't have a lot of plays.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of what we said. In fairness to the fan who just asked the question, I felt that way at times too. I really did. But if you step back and look at the fact they only had 46 plays plus 5 turnovers, that's 5 lost possessions. And at the end, they had to play hurry up the last drive, trying to get back in the game. It makes some more sense. It really does. I could take issues with a drive here or there. I would have liked to see a little bit more run in there. But I don't think it was a situation where they just gave up on it completely.
All right. Next question from @Noman Muhammad 12. Do you think the Jaguars can make the playoffs through a wild card berth without winning the division, or are there better teams in the AFC? Pete, let's start with you.
Well, I think some of those better teams are coming back to the pack. I mean, a lot of people thought the Raiders and Broncos, one of those two teams would be in the mix, and neither one of them has played very well. You look at the AFC North, Cleveland's not playing very well. Pittsburgh isn't any good. So there's questions in that division as well that we didn't see coming. And then you go to the East, Buffalo's going to be there, but now with the Miami situation with Tua, is there going to be a second team? So they could make it as a wild card if they win games. But Tony thinks they're winning the division and going to maybe even getting a 1 seed. So I don't think that's an issue for them.
Well, I didn't say that, Pete. You're putting words in my mouth. I said the division will come down to the 2 games the Jags play against the Titans in December. That's my opinion. Obviously, there's a lot of things that can happen between now and then. It's still
does
early.
Does a loser get the wild card?
With that extra wild card, I think there's a chance.
Well, I mean, if they tied the Chargers and there's no other teams with the same record, they would get that one.
Well, the good thing is they're going to play the Chargers and the Broncos and the Raiders. So if they can beat those 3, if they can beat the Broncos and the Raiders, now they have the head-to-head. So you almost eliminate that group.
And not only that, you get them. We'll get 1 at home and 1 in London, so that's a big advantage. Now you beat the toughest one on the road.
That's right. And if you can beat Baltimore and kind of take them out of the equation of the head-to-head, so you just got to beat the right people, Pete. To your point, because it could come down to tiebreakers.
You know what's even better about this is like about 15 minutes ago, he said 1 game at a time, 1 week at a time.
Now he's putting him in the playoffs.
He got it back on track again.
Yeah, we're back.
It all depends what hat if I have my player coach hat on, it's 1 at a time. If I have my media hat on, it's a free-for-all.
We always bring you back in. It's like we drew him right back in, JP.
Easy, like fish in a barrel. Up next, at T. Duval, what resulted in such a step back from our O-line? Tony, did you see that?
I didn't see that. I mean, that's a really good defensive front. I mean, who had 9 sacks and like 16 pressures against the Commanders the week before. I didn't see chaos.
Was one. Juwan Taylor had a step back.
He had a bad game. And really, if you look at it, it's 2 snaps, Pete.
Yeah, there were a couple.
Hassan Reddick,
even on the run game, he didn't get out a couple times. I don't know. That was not his. That was by far his worst game.
That was his worst game. I agree with that 100%. But I did not think the offensive line was a major issue.
No, it was not.
Next question at Carnival Thomas. Do you think this loss is going to be a big storyline later when the Jags play the Eagles as a grudge match in the Super Bowl?
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh my gosh. Is this a Boselli family member? No. He got the whole family brainwashed, huh, Tony?
The Eagles, Pete, the Eagles don't want us on a neutral field. They don't want us on a neutral fast field.
After seeing them and they're 4-0, the last undefeated team, are they going to a Super Bowl?
Yes. Oh, are they going to Super Bowl? I don't know. They're going to.
They're good. They're good on both lines. That's important.
Yeah, I think they're going to be good throughout the year. I mean, injuries obviously can change everything. Let's assume no major injuries.
Right.
And I think they're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to win the East. They're the best team in the East. They'll be in the playoffs. They're going to have at least 1 home playoff game.
They're the best team right now in the NFC.
That's my whole point. So yes, they're a Super Bowl contender.
The Super Bowl is in Arizona this year, for the record. Just so you know.
Long trip for the Jaguar fans.
Long trip for the Eagle fans, too.
I think they'll make it.
Yeah, they might show up. At Fit Jag Chick, no moral victories. So does us only losing by 8 to arguably the best team in the NFL speak to how good we are or how bad they played?
Hard to say because of the conditions. The condition. Look, I hate weather in football. I've always been that way. I think and I think eventually we're going to get to the point where every team has the facility where they just close the roof, because I hate conditions in football.
Why?
I really do.
What are you talking about?
Why?
Pete? Is this a laboratory? What are we doing?
It becomes a survival test instead of a football game. That's why.
I love it because it tests the mental toughness and the mettle of a team.
Come on.
Well, it might test it becomes a slop fest, and it's not fun to watch. It looked like guys were having a lot of times. It looked like guys were having trouble getting their footing, and they couldn't even move.
Well, then why
part of the game, Pete?
Why have a coin toss then? Why are you going to pick a side of the field anymore for the wind and all this stuff? Like, who cares then? Like, just play it in a lab. Just play it on Madden and don't have a season.
No, you play it where it's not certain conditions are just turn it into a slop fest. That was a slop fest.
I disagree with Pete 100%.
Well, I agree it was a slop fest, but I agree that's part of the game too. Like, keep it.
Well, it doesn't have to be. Just because it's always been doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
No.
That's dumb.
That's not dumb.
It is dumb.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
You're dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb.
No, I'm smart. It's a slop fest. It was gross.
Really dumb. At CF Zellers 4, 2 important division games coming up next and 2 more winnable games after that. What are your predictions for the next 4 games with them 4-0 going to 6-2 into November? We've already gone through this, and Tony has
they're already the Kool-Aid. Tony, you must have handed that out already. I mean, my gosh, everybody's on that bandwagon.
I didn't even see Tony on Twitter today. He must have infiltrated.
Hey, look, I'm gonna guarantee. I locked Sunday, so they're getting to 3-2. So we got that going for them. But slow the roll a little bit, people.
Okay, hey, Pete. Well, then how about this? You always ask me. Go over the next 6 games. You tell me what the record's going to be.
I don't know which one they're going to lose, but this team isn't built to go on a 5-game winning streak. It's just not.
So they're going to be 6-3 going into Kansas City. Then, is that what you're saying?
So then 6-4.
No, you said how many are they going to lose over the next 5?
They might lose 2. They could lose 2 of those games.
Do you think they'll be at least 5-4?
Correct. I'll give you that.
You're not giving me anything. I'm asking your opinion.
Well, okay, say 5-4. You say 7-2.
I didn't say that. I said.
You said they could win all 5.
I said they could. Yes, they could technically win the next 12 games.
Right. Correct.
But boy,
13.
What if it rains and it's a sloppy field? I mean, my God.
Or 13. Or 13. Since they play 17.
Pete, they played 5, idiot. What's 5 plus 12? 17. Do the math.
What's their record?
It's 2-2.
3. Oh, they're 2-2. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Oh my God!
I was told there would be no math today.
Oh my God!
What happened there?
This is the best moment in the history of the show right now. He was calling me an idiot and played 5. What's this?
Unreal.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Wow. All right.
Oh, all right, my bad. Sorry,
What did you
Pete, I
think
apologize.
What did you think their record was?
I thought they played 5 games. I thought they were 3-2.
By the way, I have one last question after this for everybody, for Tony, when we're done.
Okay, we've got one more social media question. One more. Pete, this is from @DuvalGator. Pete, as a reporter in the locker room, what would have been your first question to Trevor after his 5 turnovers? Tony, as a teammate and leader, what advice would you have given him after such a rough day? Pete, let's start with you.
Did you drop anything when you were getting dressed?
Wow.
I mean, that's how you lighten the mood up a little bit. Come on, that's funny. And then you get serious with him, and you sit and you talk to him, and you say, what happened? And you say, hey, look, just like I said before, I would have told him. It would have been a lot worse if you threw 4 interceptions into somebody's stomach. That's how you get good answers that way. Come on, that would have been funny. Tony, you know how I operated. I would have lightened the mood up a little bit, then ask the questions.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been well received. Like several times you tried to lighten up the mood in the locker room, wasn't always well received. My comment to Trevor would be like, listen, no, it's not all on you. We got to do a better job protecting. Don't worry about it. We'll be all right. Something along those lines would have been my comment then.
Hey, what did you? Then my question to you is, and JP, you can take the answer to this. What was more, the turnovers for Trevor Lawrence in that game, or the amount of cheesesteaks Boselli ate when he was in Philadelphia?
Ooh,
I only had one cheesesteak at the airport because I didn't fly home with the team. I flew to San Francisco last night, so I had one cheesesteak at the airport.
But like, not the night before, or not in the press, because I know in the press box they bring them up in the press box too.
No, they had no cheesesteaks in the press box. They did. I did have two. I had two
pretzels.
Two pretzels.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And
by the way,
Vegas is shocked right now because the over/under was 4.5 on that, and so he went way under.
Would you have taken the under?
I probably would have gone over 4.5.
Yeah. Well, that's the two he ate in the press box. What about the two he put in his bag for the flight to San Francisco?
Good point. Different state.
Did not
doesn't
happen.
count.
Did not happen.
By the way, one last thing. I want to give kudos to one of our listeners last week. Played I Spy, and actually detective work was great, and he found out how much Boselli's steak cost in Los Angeles. Did you see that tweet, Tony?
I did not. Whoa,
No.
What was this about?
Oh yeah. He took a picture of the menu. $98 for your steak.
Whoa.
That's not accurate.
Yes, he took a picture of it. It was.
He's wrong. He's wrong.
No, at the Boa restaurant.
It was more.
Oh, well, you must have got some extra stuff on the top of it.
No.
Because it said on there you had what kind of meat was that?
I had the Wagyu ribeye.
Yeah, it said $98 on the menu.
No, he had an old one. It was $1.25.
Oh my God.
There goes our Christmas bonus, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate that. We're just eating crumbs over here. That's fine.
I'll say this: I wasn't the only one who ordered it. I'm not naming names.
Hi, Jeff Loggeman.
And there's others besides him. I'm not going to name anyone else.
I was not among those, but whatever. It's fine. We're back in a moment, and we'll go around the NFL. That's the Fanatics fan questions. Thank you for all the submissions. We appreciate it. Jaguars fall in Week 4, 29-21 to the Eagles. And this is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Hey, it's Marissa Garnhart, girlfriend of Jacksonville Jaguars running back James Robinson. The team always has a game day plan, and so do I. Publix helps us tackle everything from pre-game prep to post-game cleanup, with prices that are never out of bounds.
This week at Publix, score a $5 Publix gift card when you spend $15 on Secret, Old Spice, Pantene, Herbal Essences, and Head & Shoulders.
Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
At Five Star Credit Union, you inspire them to go the extra mile to meet your financial needs. That's why they offer Jaguars fans more banking options like better rates and no hidden fees. Their team is also dedicated to making the communities they serve stronger, volunteering their time and talents while donating millions to local nonprofits. Five Star Credit Union, FiveStarCU.org. Go Jags!
Tired of hearing fine to every question you ask your child? Conversations with a child or teen in your life may sometimes feel one-sided, but they help build the foundation for lifelong mental wellness. Getting started can be difficult, but you don't have to do it alone. Wolfson Children's On Our Sleeves program provides just what you need to spark conversations that have lasting benefits. For free tools and expert advice delivered to your inbox each month, visit wolfsandchildrens.com/onoursleeves.
Struggling with high energy bills? Now is the time to replace your old windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. Right now, get $300 off every window and $825 off all patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Visit rbafla.com for details. Offer expires September 30th. Restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, the official window and door replacement company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CGC 1527613.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
The station that the Jaguars listen to, 1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We're back, baby. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli. Glad you're with us on this Monday after a Jags loss, 29-21. Jags are now 2-2, but still in first place in the AFC South. What, Pete?
I just can't believe the price of that steak. It made my day.
Well, yeah, Tony's right. He wasn't the only one. The only one.
The question is this. Would you have gone into your own pocket and bought that steak?
Yes, absolutely.
So you would go back there and you would take Angie on a visit to California, and you go into that restaurant and you would have that exact same steak out of your own pocket.
So Pete, I'll give you a perfect example. You know that the 954 steakhouse in the bottom of
in
the W?
Yeah, here in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale, yeah. And they have a ribeye cap, Wagyu ribeye cap that's north of 100. I know that. And the two times I've been there, that's what my wife has ordered for dinner.
That's the one that has all the what do you call it? The jellyfish in the wall.
Yeah, it's a great steakhouse. But yeah, so I will never go out on someone else's dime or anything if I'm invited to a dinner and order stuff I wouldn't pay for myself. Like it used to drive me crazy, like in the rookie dinners, when you do those rookie dinners, I'm not going to say names, certain guys would go and order just a bunch of stuff just to run up the bill on the rookie. That always bothered me. I'm like,
right, instead of ordering something you're really going to eat or like.
Yeah, because if I'm going to go out, I've been very blessed by God as far as being able to afford good food, and I like good food a lot, and I like steak. And so I will never buy something that I wouldn't be willing to pay for if someone else is buying dinner.
Okay, and one last thing. Okay, from the game, you flew to San Francisco, right?
Yes.
But you stopped to get a cheesesteak on the way to the airport, or you got it in the airport?
No, there's like Jim's or whatever.
Yeah. Jim's in the airport.
They've
wow.
got
I think
all of them
it's
in
one
the
of it's either
airport.
Tony Luke's or
yeah.
Jim's or one of them.
Yeah.
You did not bring that on the plane, though.
No, I got there. It was beautiful. I got a ride by a Philadelphia state trooper from the airport. From the game to the airport. I was there like in 5 minutes.
You must have had your jacket on. You had your jacket on, didn't you?
You wear the gold jacket? What happened? Free autograph.
If you're getting those kind of escorts, you had to have the jacket with you.
No, I got to give a big shout out to Skip, who runs security for the Jags.
Skip's awesome.
Since day one, he picked me up at the airport when I came there as a rookie. Skip helped me get a ride because I had to fly out. I couldn't fly back with the team, so he was very helpful.
Awesome.
Hey, let's go around the National Football League and get to some of these games. The Bengals over the Dolphins on Thursday, and, of course, the Tua situation advanced rapidly after that game, Pete. What's the latest there?
Well, look, he's not playing, and he shouldn't play. And, Tony, you were at that game, weren't you?
Yes.
When you looked at that, didn't you know right away? Even the week before, it was a concussion.
Well, so when it first happened, the angle we had, and when you're covering a game live, you kind of look at the replay. The focus was on his fingers. I thought he dislocated his finger or something. I'm like, oh, did he get his finger jammed in the turf? And then we went right to break. And as we were going to break, then they showed the other angle where you can see his head just bounce off the turf.
That happens when guys.
That's
have
exactly
concussions.
right. That's exactly right. But I didn't see his. It was hard to see his head hit I thought his shoulder hit. I didn't know his head hit. I thought he got slammed on his shoulder, and I thought his finger went into the turf from the first angle. But the second angle was clear. It was his head, and right then is when I knew it was a bad concussion.
Second concussion is usually way worse from what and that's the concern.
None of them are good.
Well, you think he plays again this year?
Yes.
How soon? Because he's not playing this week.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Oh, okay. You sound like a coach now.
No,
Yes.
My point is I have no idea. I mean, he'll miss this week and play the following week. It all depends on.
You're the only guy in the history you're the only guy this week that wasn't a doctor. Everybody on Twitter was a doctor.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Well, it was actually my problem, and I actually said this on the air, the national broadcast. I said, listen, it's scary. You never want to see a player do this, but this is football. It is a dangerous game. Everyone knows what they sign up for. And as far as what happened the week before, I never bought that it was his back or his ankles why he was stumbling. But I also don't believe that independent neurologists, who, by the way, spent $500,000 to get an education and 10 years of their lives becoming neurologists, would purposely fudge on an evaluation. Now, they might have got it wrong. Maybe they didn't have all the information. Pete, you know what it's like during a game. Things are going 100 miles an hour on the sidelines, and players don't tell the truth sometimes.
Of course, they want to be in the game. Did you guys even have a concussion test when you were playing? No.
I mean, we did, but it was pretty. I mean, it wasn't.
How many
hard to
fingers?
pass.
2. You're in.
Everyone was like just attacking Mike McDaniel, attacking
right.
The doctors. I just don't think that independent neurologist purposely fudged the test, because what's the upside for that individual?
But isn't it on to the individual player? If you have a headache and you're concussed, say something.
Yes. I mean, let me ask you a question. Did anyone make Tua play?
No. That's what I mean.
Now, do I think we need policies and procedures in place to protect players against themselves? Right. Absolutely. And was there a failure somewhere along the line? Yes, it's something that needs to be reviewed. But if Mike McDaniel and you're the head coach and you were told by the medical staff that he is cleared to play and he is communicating fine with you and has no real effects as it looks like, then you go play him.
I agree. I'm with you.
And I just don't buy that this independent neurologist somehow purposely. Now they obviously messed up.
Well, they didn't say it was a concussion. Why wouldn't you just say it was a concussion, though, Tony? There's your mess up.
Because when they ran through the test, Pete, he passed the concussion protocols.
Well, why would you give him concussion protocols if you didn't think it was a concussion? They knew it was a concussion.
But if he passes,
okay, but he knew it was a concussion.
No, they thought it was a possible concussion.
Yeah. Guys know the answers to that question now. Those questions nowadays, by the way, supposedly.
Let's move along to the games on Sunday. In London, the Vikings survived the Saints. A double doink at the end on the field goal from 61. Unreal.
Could you imagine he made a 60-yarder to tie it? He would have made a 61-yarder to send it in overtime. That would have been incredible. I mean, he nailed the kick. It was about 4 yards up on the bar, and it would have went in. So tough loss. They're a disappointment, the Saints, right now.
I thought they'd be better, Pete.
Me too.
Falcons win on a last-second field goal over the Browns, 23-20. The Bills beat the Ravens. The Ravens were up 17 in the second quarter. Bills rallied. Josh Allen had a touchdown run, and then the Bills later won it on a last-second field goal, Pete. Moving along.
Yeah, Pete, good. Thanks for jumping in there, Pete. Yes, JP, I didn't see the game in entirety, but it was a great comeback and a lot of questions and controversy about John Harbaugh going for it on fourth down and not kicking
I thought he was going to play a call. He didn't play the call.
No, you blew it.
No, he didn't play the call. He said John Murphy called. Did it play?
I didn't say John Murphy. I said Pete. But
You
that's
said
okay.
Pete Prisco.
Yeah.
On the graphic, it said John Murphy.
I'm aware
like
what it said. I'm aware what it said.
Did you pull a call off of there, JP,
I
and
did.
not play it?
Well, because we were talking about concussions for 5 minutes, so we have to trim
All
some
right,
show.
well,
Sorry.
So, anyways, I disagree with John Harbaugh's decision. Kick the field goal. Go ahead. Don't you agree, Tony? You go ahead in that situation.
I would think so, Pete, but I wasn't watching the game. I had no idea. I didn't see one snap of it, so I can't.
Well,
really
he had a
speak
fourth
to that.
down play with 4 minutes to go in the game. They're tied. You take the lead. You kick the field goal. It wasn't like Buffalo had 40 points. They had 20 at the time.
Yeah, I would have probably kicked the field goal. Yes.
Let's move along to the Cowboys and the Commanders. Early fourth quarter, Dallas up by 5. The Cowboys pull away. Hey, Pete, it's Brad Sham on 105.3 The Fan on the Dallas Cowboys radio network.
2nd and 5. Coming right to left in the white jerseys, silver helmets, and pants. Rush under pressure. Throws deep. Skinny post. Walk in. CeeDee Lamb. He got clear and he walked the dog. 30 and a touchdown.
Are the Cowboys good, Pete?
They're good on defense. They can rush the passer. Their offensive line, once they get guys going again, they're going to be good up front. So, yeah, I think the Cowboys are good. We'll know next week because they play at Philly next week. They play this week at the Chargers.
Ooh.
That could be back-to-back. That's 2 tough games.
Really 2 tough games.
All the love for Cooper Rush to be out of the building by the
the quarterback controversy. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Right. Seahawks over the Lions, 48-45. Lions were down, could never get over the top in that game. Seahawks never trailed. Giants over the Bears, 20-12. The Jets and the Steelers. The Jets down 3, knocking on the door late. A fumble and a review. Bob Wischusen on the 98.7 ESPN Jets radio network.
2nd and goal inside the 2. Wilson takes the snap, handoff, Hall up the middle, extra effort at the goal line. The ball popped out. He might have lost it. At the goal line, the Jets think he got across the goal line. 9 seconds to go. The clock has stopped.
Tyler Conklin advanced the ball. The runner broke the plane of the goal line. Therefore, by rule, that is a touchdown.
The Jets have a touchdown. Breece Hall did indeed break the plane before the ball popped out.
I'll ask you again, Pete. Are the Jets good?
They're better than I thought they would be, and Zach Wilson actually played okay. I mean, threw a couple bad picks. You know what he is right now? He's a guy that can lead you on a game-winning drive, but he'll throw 2 throws that you go, oh, my God, how did he throw those? But that's going to be an interesting game this week with Miami, with Teddy Bridgewater starting.
I think the bigger story is how bad the Steelers are.
Well, they got to go to Pickett. They're going to go to Pickett. They have to.
Cardinals over the Panthers 26-16. The Packers beat the Patriots in overtime 27-24. Raiders over the Broncos 32-23. The Chiefs beat the Buccaneers on Sunday Night Football 41-31. That leaves us with Monday Night Football. It's a California showdown in the NFC West. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and the 2-1 LA Rams head to Santa Clara to face Jimmy Garoppolo, George Kittle, and the San Francisco 49ers at 1-2. Who you got at Levi's Stadium tonight? And Tony, are you going?
I am not going, and I think the 49ers win this game. They've had the Rams number outside the last game of outside the playoffs last year, and that was even in the playoff game. If they just don't fumble it at the end, they beat the Rams, and the Rams don't win a Super Bowl this year. That's one of those matchups that the 49ers have had the Rams number for a while now.
I agree. I think the Rams will win the game, but these two teams get after it, man. And after what Jimmy G did last week, I think he bounces back. By the way, he's 6-0 against the Rams.
That's why you said that's
in the
why
regular season.
That's why I picked the 49ers. They've owned the Rams. But you think the Rams will win?
Yeah, I do. I think Aaron Donald, not having Trent Williams is big for the 49ers. Really big.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. Another show in the books. Apparently the Jaguars are going on a winning streak from here.
Well, Tony has them. They're going to have the number 1 seed, according to Boselli.
They might.
Oh, my God. 1 week at a time till they might have the number 1 seed.
Right.
All in one show. We can't get that anywhere else.
All right. I love it.
It's hard to tell.
We'll find
If they
out.
lose this week, then what?
They're not going to.
No, they're not. We locked it. It's a guarantee.
It's a guarantee, a virtual guarantee.
JP,
Guys,
you should jump in on lock once in a while. We'll see how that goes. Probably mush us.
Wow, thanks, Pete. I hope it doesn't rain the rest of the year for you. Jeez, unbelievable. These weather conditions. Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli, Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber, I'm J.P. Shadrick. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll see you next week. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.